for the past 11 years, and I'm here to bring you free, high level professional day trading content all here on YouTube and on X. And without any further ado, I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. Hopefully, I don't continue to stumble over my words here this evening. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Let's rock and roll. One sec here. Just let me get this fired up on the other side here. Okay, guys, let's do this. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple of trades here that I took. One red, one green, and let's focus up here. We might as well cover the red. The trade ended up working. It was fine. I did lock in profit, but I wanted to see where it was going to go. So I did it basically just stopped me out. So at the open here, for those of you that are just joining us, and I should clarify this, these blue levels. So these levels aren't marking out like a low of range or a high of day or a low of range or a low of day, whatever. These are actually marking out, are marked out at 9 a.m. East, so 30 minutes prior to the market open. And then I develop trade plans, and that's what we trade. We don't trade shit that just comes up on a whim. We always prepare. And remember that word, because that's going to come into play in tonight's lesson. So today, the trade plan was to follow, and our main watch was Qs. But I did say for transparency that whatever triggers, I will be entering into both SPY and Qs, and that's exactly what I did. So when the market opened up here, dips down, starts getting nice and close into the entry point, more than it's only 30 cents away from that level. So I execute that trade. I paid myself on the push up. It came down. I added, I paid, and I believe I added one. Yeah, I added one more time here. I paid myself on the push and I held some. And then finally, I just got stopped out down here, and that was that. So it wasn't a big position. Ended up locking in about a $1,900 loss on that. So pretty reasonable loss on that. And then we absolutely crushed, dominated Qs here today. So I want to talk about entries and exits. So first, I'm going to go over the trade, and then we're going to get into a discussion. So at the open, we came up into this level. This first level here was what we wanted to start executing our short. So as it pops up, we execute. Pops right into our risk. So this level was our risk. We were actually going to risk a little bit over that. So this is more of a secondary entry. And then we were just going to give it basically confirmation over this level. Didn't need it. So entered into that. And I want to show you that exit, or sorry, that entry down below. It's a literal top tick. And we're going to get into that. So as it comes down, I am paying myself. And I entered in once on a push back up right into here because it is retesting a failed support level, now testing as resistance. It's technical analysis 101. It's not complicated shit. So entered into that and then worked it all the way down. Absolutely beautiful. And if you take a look, that target there was hit, and it was hit perfectly. So perfect entry, perfect exit. So on this complete trade, because that's what it is. That is a complete trade. It is dead nuts from highs to lows. Okay. So how do you smoke entries like that? Like, how do you do that? You know, that's a question that I would actually ask when I would look at a trader's entries, like an entries chart. I would always wonder, it's like, well, how exactly are they getting exactly high of day or low of day, or vice versa, depending on what side of the trade they're on? And it's simple, but it's something that's like really grossly overlooked. It has to do with targets and plan and preparation. Now, you'll see some traders' entries when they're just basically, it's like a top tick and they're all proud of it. And they're top ticking because they're basically averaging in on extension. There's no technical level there. There's simply, especially in the penny stock world, they'll talk about a top tick short, but it's not into any level of technical support or resistance. It's basically, it's a guess. and it's luck. Luck might not be the best word, because when you're hammering in like that and you're entering, chances are you're going to pick the top at some time, right? So this is very different than that. This is very methodical and planned out. When you have a definitive entry and a secondary entry, and then let's say the risk level was marked, it rarely is. We know where our risk is. As it's coming into the level, you'll hear me say that a lot, into the level. What a lot of people will do is they'll wait for it to like, it's not a confirm, but in their mind, they're telling themselves they want confirmation. So they enter on a short on a red candle. Like after it comes up, rejects, pulls back, they'll enter somewhere in here. And you're never going to get great entries with that. Now, some of you may think a couple of cents doesn't matter, but I've went over this in trade recaps, and I've went over this live and on screen share. It does matter. It absolutely matters. You're going to fuck yourself out of hundreds of dollars while you're trading small, and then thousands of dollars once you start trading with a little more size on that position in total. You're missing out on a lot of potential. So instead of having to hold from highs all the way to like lows or something like that to make your money, you don't have to do that. If you're smoking these entries and exits like that, you can really maximize the potential of the position instead of needing range to pay yourself, because you don't need that. What you do is basically you are taking advantage, especially when it comes to options, right? We don't trade options like people trade options. Like we don't look at the Greeks at all. Like that's all fucking nonsense when it comes to day trading. Okay. Not trading, not swing trading, not investing. You need the Greeks when it comes to that. But with this, you fucking don't at all. You're in and out of these positions too quickly for those Greeks to take effect. So on this here, what I want to get at with you is when you have these levels, it is on that, on a short, it is on that upward thrust, that upward push as it's coming up. You're basically looking at the extension of that candle, and you're basically hitting the trigger as it's pushing into that level. And I know that that might sound overly simplified, but it is a matter of timing. Timing is very important. It's crucial. So if you take a look at the difference, I want you to take a look here. So that entry right here, right before the lowest one, that one there, that is about $1.45. Okay, that's what that is. Down here at the lowest point is $1, I would say 18. Do you see how much you save? Like that's quite a few percent, guys, right? And that's this little bit right here, from here to here. That's it. It's very minimal. It's only about 20 cents on 20, 30 cents on the equity, but it works out on options to be quite a few percent, right? Like what is that? 5%, 7%, somewhere around there. It's a lot. 10%. It's a lot. And that's how you maximize the potential of your position. Instead of trying to get a massive amount of range and getting spooked out because it's coming up. Like if you're looking for a short, you should be entering in on a green candle on the way up into that level. If you're not, you're fucking yourself. You're hesitating. You're not understanding what technical levels are. Those are physical brick walls. So as it comes flying into that physical brick wall, enter. As it comes into it, you're going to get the best average, the best entry, and that's how you basically top tick or bottom tick these entries and exits for that matter, because it's the same thing on the exit here. You can see that beautiful, beautiful exit. And I want to point that out again. Do you see this right here? Right there. So it's just the last little bit. So on that, as it's pushing up or down into the level here, I am paying myself on those forceful pushes, right? So I want to point out that that one there is at 260, 262. This one here. The top exit is at about 310 to 315. Do you see how big of a difference that is? Just by waiting and having your timing down into that level. It's a big fucking difference. It matters. Your entries and exits matter. There's some trades where maybe, you know, you need to just enter. You need to get into these positions. But if you're working with very clear technicals, it's a straightforward technical analysis 101 type of trade, enter into those levels. And some of this stuff, when I'm trying to explain, I know it sounds super simplified and everything else, but there's an art to it. There's a certain amount of timing that goes into this that you really need to focus. And that's the next thing I want to talk about is focus. We live in a world of distraction, right? It's so easy to get fucking distracted. Even while you're in a trade, your phone's going off, you're pissing around on your phone. There's all sorts of different things going on. Maybe you are one of these people with 10 different stock charts up. Don't do that. Focus up on one or two plays, and that is it, guys. If you have scanners, you got to get rid of them. All it's going to do is draw and take your focus away from what's in front of you. And you're going to basically be like a crow chasing tinfoil down the street. You're chasing that shiny object instead of just fucking focusing on what is in front of you. And if you can do that, you got a shot at this game. But if not, you're constantly chasing scanners and news plays and what's next. What play is next? You're always chasing what is next. You'll fail. You just will. And if you don't believe me, continue on doing what you're doing and come talk to me in 5 years. And if you're still around, I'll apologize. No one's ever hit me up for that apology. Anytime I make this argument, nobody's ever hit me up for that for that apology. It won't happen. You know, it's one of these things that we are attempting to do and find consistency in one of the hardest career paths on the planet. So why do you think you're so fucking special to do whatever you want, however you want to do it? It doesn't work that way. There is one way to do this, and it is through focus, consistency, and discipline. It is all of that. It's not even so much the strategy, how you enter, how you exit. I know this is a video on entries and exits, but it is mainly what's going on up here, how you focus, right? Can you keep emotional control? These are all the biggest part of day trading. And these videos, usually once I start talking about psychology and mentality, people tune off. They don't want to hear it because that's not sexy enough. It's not flashy enough. But those are the videos that actually make you money as a day trader, because it isn't about just entering and exiting and stuff like that. It's, can you handle it, right? When you're trading very small size, you're going to feel like a rock star because you can basically manage these positions quite well if you're trading very small. Once you start sizing up, it's a different ball game. And this is, again, why I tell you to size up very, very slow. It's almost like you need to boil the frog in water instead of dropping him in. If you drop him in boiling water, he's going to jump out. If you do it slow, I know this isn't the greatest analogy, but if you boil him slow, he'll stay in there. It's a matter of basically getting accustomed to it. You got to get accustomed to the size that you're using, or you will absolutely blow up. I've seen it so many times. It's fucking ridiculous. And I hate every time I see it because I don't want to see that. But basically, if you want to learn how to do this, come to tricktrades.com. Work with a coach that, number one, gives a shit, and number two, can actually get you there. And if not, that's fine. Continue on with the free stuff, guys, but you will chase your fucking tail. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow morning, and then I will see the YouTube watchers, the freebies, on tomorrow evening. Adios, folks.